All right, welcome to the webinar. This is Lorette, and this is the Learning Tube. Thank you for joining us tonight. So tonight it's just me. Alicia is actually in Atlanta at a digital marketing conference. So, a lot of times we talk about the importance of continuing to learn. So, that is a really big thing that we love to do, is we love to make sure that we're continuously learning. And if that's not going to events, it's being part of masterminds, or it's, getting other people's courses. You know how you guys buy courses? We buy courses just like you do to continue to learn. And William says, what are you doing here? You should be on your honeymoon. But if those of you that don't know, I just got married on Saturday. So I unfortunately don't really have a formal presentation that I had time to put together, but I did, of course, not want to cancel the session. So I am on here, and the wedding was amazing, and everything was great, and I have family. Most of the family's leaving tomorrow, but I did want to make sure to do tonight's call. And so, just to go back on the learning, I know a lot of you buy courses, and many times you buy courses and you don't even look at them, right? And, we've been guilty of that as well. But one thing that we've done that has really helped us to actually go through the learning, implement them, is to set aside a specific time. Okay, so like put a certain time in your day, like this is my learning time, maybe from whatever, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock or something like that. You'll say, okay, this is my learning time. This is the time where I'm going to, educate myself to make myself better. And whenever you do things like that, you're going to see a difference in your business. You're going to see, changes. You're definitely always going to learn something. So, we also get on webinars. A lot of our colleagues do webinars all the time. And, a lot of times, we don't join them for the reason of buying something, but even if the webinars are free, even if they're selling something and you're not trying to buy, get on it anyway. I guarantee you're going to pick up a nugget of something, right? Something that's going to help you. There's not been one webinar that I've joined that I didn't learn something, or something that I can implement, or something I can share with somebody else. So get as much knowledge as you can, but make sure that you implement it and set aside that time for learning. I know I'm guilty of it, but I get caught up doing day-to-day stuff, but you have to carve out that time to learn new things. And when you learn the new things, you have to carve out that time to implement them as well. So learning is very important, and scheduling yourself for your learning time is very important. Just like you're scheduling yourself to get tasks done, schedule that, put that into your schedule, is to continuously learn, like you're on this webinar tonight. Right? So every time that you're on a Learning Tube webinar, hopefully you're learning something that you can eventually implement into your business. And even if you're not implementing it, maybe you learn something that you can share with somebody else. And that goes into, joining some type of mastermind. Now, we talked about in one of our past webinars about the power of masterminds. And we talked about, the different types of masterminds and so forth. Out of curiosity, did anybody after that webinar move forward or do anything in regards to a mastermind? If you did, I am so excited. If you didn't, then shame on you, right? Because masterminds are very powerful. We talked about the importance of collaborating with people that are doing the same things that you are doing, people that have the same goals that you have. You'd be so surprised at how much you can learn from your peers, right? You don't have to be with quote-unquote gurus. Your peers, you'd be surprised at how much, they may know something, you don't know something. You know something, they don't know something. And you share it with each other, and you learn with each other. Even if your mastermind is small, maybe you have 3 people, 4 people, but anything like that is going to help you and your business. If you want to take your business to the next level, if you're stagnant right now, not making a lot of money, I remember I was, when we first started doing some masterminds, sometimes I was embarrassed because I felt that, gosh, these people know more than I know. But that's not true, because you have something that they don't know, right? You can all learn from each other. Don't be embarrassed or shy to share what you're doing, to share what's not working in your business, but you can also share things that are working as well. But the stuff that's not working is just as important because you can always learn from things that are not going well, and somebody else may have experienced that in the past as well. So they can relate to you. And so when you're in these masterminds, you can learn from other people what they're doing, what they're not doing, how they're running their team, products they're using, services they're using, and you can share as well. I know a lot of times when we're on these webinars, William, he's always sharing great resources that he uses, so it's kind of like this is a little mastermind with us because, he shares resources, we share resources, and that's what it's all about, right? Because we're all trying to reach that goal, right? We're trying to reach that laptop lifestyle, make some extra income, maybe even quit your job, all that kind of stuff, And in order to do that, you can't do it alone. You just can't, right? You can't do it alone, and that's why we love doing things like the Learning Tube and having this community for people to help each other, right? So when you are on your social media groups, let's say you're in a group of Amazon sellers, let's say you are Kindle authors or something, ask in there who wants to join, who wants to start up a mastermind group. Just ask, right? And I know for a fact that a lot of you are in groups, right? That you're in Facebook groups. So when you're in those Facebook groups, ask who wants to create a mastermind. I guarantee you're going to get bombarded with more people than you even expected or even wanted in your mastermind because people want that, right? Anything that's going to help their business. So I challenge you, right? So the next time we meet, I want to hear somebody, anybody on this webinar to let me know that you asked in your social media groups who wants to start a mastermind, right? And I want to know what the results are. So I challenge you to do that, and I would love for somebody to come back and say, guess what, Lorette, I started my own mastermind, there's 5 of us, we're meeting tomorrow, right? So, I challenge you to do that, and I guarantee it's going to really help your business. And another great thing is not only just helping you with like resources and stuff like that, but it's just connections, right? So people have the misconception that working on the internet, that you have, you live in this little cave and you just work on your computer and that's it. But that's not true. The more people you know, the more people you talk to, the more networking you do, you connect with other people. That's one thing that we've been in this business for so long, since the year 2000. So we know a lot of people. And so when we're in masterminds, for example, one of the last masterminds that I was in, somebody was looking for a merchant service provider, and I know one, so I connected them. Somebody else was looking for a JV broker. We know one, so we connected them, right? So that's another benefit of being in masterminds is, when you're looking for resources of people, that's usually great because other people can connect you with other people and so forth. So that's another great reason to be in groups. Patricia was asking a replay of last week's Facebook leads. Yes, I just need to edit a bit of it because I know in the presentation there was a section that I showed people's contact details. So I need to edit that. Thank you for the reminder, Patricia, and I will post that. So let me just write myself a quick note. So I'm going to edit the Learning Tube and then send out the replay. So hopefully, Patricia, was that, I'm guessing that was helpful for you with showing you how to do Facebook leads. Alicia recently did a Facebook lead campaign, and it was very successful. It was to get people into a conference, into an event, and the lead was just, it was like a free report or something, and they got the leads, and then from the leads, they sold them into a seminar, and it went really well. And the leads were extremely qualified, and based on the questions that they asked with the Facebook leads, they were able to have a very successful call because they knew exactly what the people were doing, what they needed, what they were lacking. So the call was so tailored to them. And yeah, it was just a great campaign. And Patricia, you said you wanted to share with others. Sure, that's fine. Just let me, I'm just going to edit it like I said, and then I will definitely send it out. Let's see. And on that note, Patricia, I'm just out of curiosity, would you use the Facebook leads ads? What would you use it for? Would you be using it for local businesses, for yourself, for just curious on who you would be doing these campaigns for? Just out of curiosity. All right, so yeah, so that was with last week. So those of you that missed it, we did how to do lead campaigns on Facebook and using the Facebook lead capture tool that they have within Facebook. And I don't think I mentioned on the call, but if you're doing it for yourself, what I was showing was doing it for local businesses and charging for your services. Now, when you do it for yourself, you can actually connect it to your autoresponder. So let's say you use Aweber or iContact or something. They can go directly into your autoresponder, and you can have that email marketing series. You can have that email series right there, you know, on autopilot, going with the leads that you're generating off of Facebook. So it's very streamlined and easy to use. And that actually moves me into the next note that I had here. Okay, so, all right, great. And then I also wanted to talk, it was talking about email marketing. So Alicia, as I said, she is at a conference right now on digital marketing. And one of the big topics that they're talking about is the importance of email marketing. And she was just sharing some of the stats with me, saying that like on Black Friday, she was saying that 18% of sales came from emails and 1% come from social media or something to that nature. But just saying that email marketing is not dead. And then also using emojis in emails help the open rates by 45%. Now, if you guys don't know what emojis, those are the little like smiley faces or palm trees or things like that that you can add into subject lines for emails. And I know, William, I believe you sent me, what was that link again? It was subjectline.com or something like that, to help with creating subject lines. Subjectline.com is a tool that William shared last week to help you create subject lines. But apparently the emojis really help people really increase the open rate of emails. Now I know myself, when I see the little emoji, it attracts my attention, right? And it makes you want to click on it. And that is the key. You want people to open your email. Once they open your email, then you got them, right? Because from there, hopefully your email copy, or you've got an email image, or you've got something in your email that's going to entice them to click on it. Now to do those emojis, if you don't know, a quick and easy way is you can just go to Google and you type in emojis, and they have websites that just have lists of emojis, and you basically copy and paste the emoji into your subject line. You know, because we use, one of the tools that we use Aweber for some of our emails, and yeah, that's all that we do is we just copy and paste the emoji into the subject line, and it goes off. And, you know, just make sure that the emoji is relevant to your subject line. So if you're like, I'm flying to Jamaica, you know, you can have a picture of a palm tree, or you can have a picture of an airplane, you know, things like that. And there's tons of emojis out there. So the next time you send out an email, try it out. See if your open rate increases. And if it does, then you know to continue to use them. Now, don't use them for every email, because then it's kind of going to turn into email blindness, like they're always going to see these emojis. But use them for things that, you know, that valid, you know, like I'm flying to Jamaica, like that would be a perfect one to use an emoji on. You know, so examples like that. But mix it up. Don't use them all the time. Use some in the beginning of the subject line, maybe use one at the end of the subject line. You can use another one at the beginning and at the end, but try it out. And, you know, let me know what kind of results that you get. So William says, I use emoji in LinkedIn with what you taught in LinkedIn. I went from 89 to 1489. Wow, that is that's a huge jump. That's great. So yeah, so emojis are good. And you know, for a bit there was quite a few companies. I know some of the larger companies use them with their marketing, but not a lot of people use them. So when you're using them, it really helps you stand out in the inbox as well. So we have some, you know, we've talked about Kindle and generating lists with Kindle. So many of you know that we have romance books. So with our romance books, whenever we send out an email, we always have like lips or high heels or, you know, something like that to make it, you know, stand out with the romance novels. Okay, so Patricia has a question here. With email marketing, we need to do opt-in pages to capture their email address. Do we have training how to create opt-in pages? I don't think we've done I don't know. I will look, but I think we do. Let me look real quick. But the good thing with the Facebook lead pages is that you don't have to have those the opt-in pages, because it is all done through Facebook, so that is great. But the other way to do it is that we use lead pages, and with that you can create the opt-ins, and I'm pretty sure that we did a webinar on it. Let's see. But right now I'm going to thelearningtube.com, and on there in the top there is a section that says webinar replays, and we may have one on there on lead pages. So anyway, it's moving very slow. But if you go to thelearningtube.com, you can see if we have one there and webinar replays. If not, then we can definitely do one. So, you know, there's also lead pages is one way to do it. You can also use, you know, we ClickFunnels, but ClickFunnels is pretty expensive if you don't have a big funnel that you're building, which you should. But if you don't, you know, lead pages is an option. And then there's also, if you have a regular WordPress website, you can create, you know, opt-in pages with that as well. And of course, that wouldn't cost you anything extra. Just using tools like lead pages makes it easier, especially if you're not a technical person. But it is a fee. It's not free. I think it's $67 a month or something like that. But that is one of the easiest tools, in my opinion, to use, even if you're not a technical person. So let me see. I'm looking. Let's see. No, we don't have one on here. Okay, so we can definitely do that. But just so you know, I am on the Learning Tube. Let's see. Just wanted to pull up the thelearningtube.com, I think, /replays. Let's see. thelearningtube.com /replays. See. So let's see. All right. There. So I just put that link there just so you guys are familiar with where we post our replays. And like I said, I have to edit last week's, and I'll put that up. And then I'm going to put this one up as well. And I just made a note here for myself to do a session on opt-in pages. And when we do the session on opt-in pages, I will definitely make sure that we do the different options, right? So you have the option for, you know, like ClickFunnels, which would be the high end. So if you want the, you know, the Rolls Royce, you use the ClickFunnels. And then, you know, we've got lead pages, which is the Toyota Corolla, which is the, you know, regular middle of the page there, lead pages. And then we can use, you know, a WordPress plugin if you have WordPress, and that will be something. Yeah, so Rich is saying that we did do one, but he doesn't know which one it is. Yeah, I thought we did too. Let's see. So Neil, it says you're not seeing my screen. You should see it now. It's just the replay page. That's all I put up on the screen. And I put the link for it in the chat box. Yeah, so, when we do the one on opt-in pages, like I said, I'll give you the different options, one on ClickFunnels, one on lead pages, and then the option of just doing one, as a WordPress plugin. And all of those would lead into your autoresponder system. And your autoresponder system, one thing that a lot of people are lacking, and, we're guilty of it as well, is to have an autoresponder series. Now, a lot of times people will create these emails, and I see this all the time because we do a lot of done-for-you type services for people, and we need access to their autoresponder systems. So when we're in there, we can see, the other things that they're doing, and people just don't have email series. Now, you talk about living this internet marketing lifestyle, that you can fly anywhere and do any of this, but in order to do that, you have to have systems and automation in your business. If you don't have an email system, email series automatically going out on an ongoing basis with content and with sales mixed into there, then you're not automating your business, right? So, we know somebody, some of you guys that have been in this industry for a bit maybe know it, but Double Your Dating, have you guys heard of Double Your Dating? He does a lot. He was doing a ClickBank product and he made all this money and he talks about it. But one of the things that he talks about is he had an email series that was 2 years long. He had 2 years of emails in his autoresponder, right, in his funnel. And that is automating your business, right? So, and when you have things like that, you make it evergreen. So with 2 years of emails, when somebody gets in his funnel and they're getting all these emails, he's getting continuous income on an ongoing business basis because people are getting that mixture of content and sales. And, as he's got people coming into his funnel on a regular basis, you can just imagine how he's making a continuous income, sales on a daily basis without having to do anything because it's all on autopilot. Another person that has a great example of that is John Crestani. I don't know if you guys have heard that name before, but he's also an internet marketer. And he has, once you get on his list, you're continuously getting emails. And a lot of people, even Onyx, I know a lot of people are on Onyx Segal's email list as well, and he has a continuous flow of emails that are going out. Now, some of you may say, oh my gosh, that's so annoying. I get all these emails, but you know what? The more they email, the more money they make. It's pretty simple. Onyx actually sent out an email to his JVs not too long ago, and he was like, you know how to make more money? Send more emails, right? And if people don't want to be on your email list and they unsubscribe, so what? They shouldn't be on your email list. Somebody was saying they increased their emails and all these people started opting out. I said, well, that's not the type of people that you even want on your email list. Get more people into your funnel and keep sending out emails, right? If you don't send out emails, people forget you, right? They forget you. You have to be on top of mind for people because there's other people that are going to crowd your space and they're going to forget about you, right? So it's very important to make sure to continuously stay in communication with people, with your email list. And that's one of the reasons why we do the Learning Tube, for example, is to make sure that we're continuously in front of you, right? So you don't forget who we are, that we want to make sure that, you know who the little sisters are, and that we provide good content, and we want to be a resource for you, right? So that's one of the reasons why we do it. And it's the same concept with sending out emails. So, when you're sending out emails, send them out more than you want to, right? You may think it's annoying people, but it is working, right? It is working. So William says, the more you email, the more you make. Build your list. Exactly. And, another important thing is to continue, just like William said, is to continue to build your list. You should continuously be getting people in your funnel on an ongoing basis. So for example, this is not really the same, but it's a good example. I sell products on Amazon, right? And with selling on Amazon, I run Facebook ads. And so my Facebook ads, I don't really turn it off. So it's just going all the time, driving people to my product to sell it. And I'm just saying that's a good example of continuously getting traffic somewhere. I just don't really turn it off. We have some of our other ads for lead generation. We don't turn it off. It's always running. And that's with building your list. We have some of our colleagues said that he spends a lot of money, but they make a lot of money. Gosh, what did he tell me? He spends $3,000 a day on ads, and he gets about 400 leads a day. That's crazy. But with those 400 leads a day, he's selling them. He's making money from it. So he's spending that, but he's building the list, and the money is still in the list. When we started back in the year 2000, one of the things, we actually made a ringtone. You guys remember when ringtones were really big? It's not really big anymore. But we actually made a ringtone, and it said, the money's in the list, the money's in the list, pick up the phone, the money's in the list. So we actually had a ringtone that we released. William probably remembers that because he's known us that long. But yeah, we had a ringtone for people, telling people that the money's in the list. And it's still in the list. There's the shiny object syndrome that, people have all these other things that you can do, but email marketing is never going to go away. Building your list is never going to go away. And now there's other ways that you can communicate with your list, but it's still the foundation of building your list. Because now you can do things such as sending text messages. Does anybody here get text messages from marketers? I know I get from, I think Russell Brunson, I get text messages from him for webinars. I get webinar reminders from other people as well for text messages. And it's great because it's not flooded, right? There aren't a million people doing it. So if you're sending out a text message, you are getting in front of people that they don't, that they're not used to. If you're an internet marketer or something, or you're even in a different niche of some sort and you're sending out text messages, or they're not used to that, right? So, do things that catch their attention. They've got voice drops. We talked about some other ways to do marketing, and one of them was voice drops. And we had in our mastermind group, we had one of our mastermind members talking about how his webinar attendance went skyrocketed because they used voice drops. Now what that is that it calls your phone number and it leaves you a voicemail. So it doesn't, I don't really know what happens actually if you don't answer, if you answer it. Or I think it just leaves a voicemail if you answer it or not. I'm not really sure the technical aspects of it, but he uses it and it drastically improved how many people, William's saying it just leaves a message, it drastically increased the amount of people attending their webinars. And, he's going to start using it for some other things as well. But anyway, my whole point in saying that is to think of different ways to communicate with people, but make sure that you stand out. And it's still the fact of growing your list. One thing that we did was we've been sending out physical mail to our students. And we use a service called Click to Mail. So click, the number 2, and then mail. And it's actually through the United States Post Office. So what you do is, one of our recent programs, we had workbooks. And, whenever somebody joined, they got sent a workbook in the mail. And it was all automated, and it sent a notification to Click to Mail. It printed the workbook on demand and shipped it out to the student. Now, the great thing about that is who gets stuff in the mail these days? You don't, right? You don't get stuff in the mail anymore, but I love to get something in the mail. When I see something in the mail that's not a bill, it's exciting, right? So, those are different ways, once again, to communicate with people and make yourself stand out. So that tool is called Click to Mail, and we use Zapier to automate it. So Zapier is another tool that helps you automate certain processes, and they connect with Click to Mail. So think about that as well on how you can incorporate physical mail with, with your communicating with clients or students or whatever you want to do. But that physical mail, and then even sending out, Christmas cards and New Year's cards and birthday cards and stuff like that. But anything that is physical will really make you stand out. Yeah, so William says people still check mail every day. Yeah, but unfortunately, usually it's either junk mail or bills, right? So make yourself stand out and put yourself in that as well. So let's see. Patricia says, I'm sold on the concept of an autoresponder. I need to learn how to do it. Yep, so we can even do something on autoresponder systems as well. When I do the training on the opt-in pages, I'll also talk about the autoresponder systems. There's different ones out there, and right now the most popular one is, I would say, Active Campaign, but it is a little pricey. There is the one that we recommend right now. I like Aweber personally. We've had it for so long, but Aweber is still pretty good, and they have a 30-day free trial. So I like recommending that to people because of that 30-day free trial, because in those 30 days you can do a lot. You can grow a pretty big list in 30 days, right? And if you're not, and so as soon as you sign up for it, that clock is ticking, and you need to go, go, go and implement, right? Grow that list, build that list, and after those 30 days, you should be making more than enough to pay for whatever autoresponder system that you join, right? So, I would recommend for somebody starting out to start with that, because it gives you that 30-day free trial. And then, if you outgrow that, if you're really taking it seriously, you want to start doing funnels and stuff like that, then you can always export your names and import them into your new system. Sorry. So Patricia, that's one I would recommend, is Aweber. Let's see. So that is really what I wanted to talk about today. So does anybody have any questions on what I went over? So William sharing the resource here is Drops 360. Let me put that into chat. Let's see. This is the voice drops. So our good friend of ours, Brian Anderson. I don't know, is this the Brian Anderson program? Let's see. So pull it up on my screen real quick. And here's the link. So that is a resource shared by William, Drops 360. And this is the ringless voicemail drops. And, if you can incorporate this into your business, then definitely incorporate it. Everybody that I know that is using it has done well. I mean, it's really helped them. So question from Sandra, she says, in the 2-year email sequence, is he offering new products? Yes. So in the 2-year sequence, he is doing content. So first of all, they purchase the product, and then his first set of emails are emails that are called consumption emails. And those teach you how to consume the product. So we do this as well. So, you buy the product, and then the emails are going to be like, oh, in module 1, make sure you cover the section on email subject lines, at point, at 1 minute and 35 seconds, we talk about the importance of using emojis. And so it's basically teaching people to use the product and consume it, right? So consumption emails. And you should do a few of those. And then you'll say, did you check out the replays? Here's the link for the replays. And in the workbook on page 27, we talk about this. Or in module 10, one of the important things to remember is this. Once again, so teaching people to consume. That's going to help reduce your refund rate dramatically when you're teaching people how to consume the products. And it also makes them feel guilty that they're not implementing, and a lot of times they don't, that once again helps with the refund rate. And it also helps with the success of your students, right? Because the more you teach them how to use your product, the better success that they're going to have. So whenever you sell something, your first set of emails need to be consumption emails. And then you need to just do some general emails of relationship building, right? So relationship building and content and so forth, and then you start selling, right? Then you start selling them. And you make sure you start selling things that are relevant to your product that you brought them in with, right? And then you start selling them, and you just keep mixing in with other things, content selling. But yes, you're definitely selling in that 2-year process. And it doesn't have to be your products. If your product number 1 is yours, and then you can start mixing it in with affiliate products. And, they don't have to be your products. You can go find products on ClickBank, find products on JVZoo, find other people's products that complement yours and sell it to them as an affiliate. So, yes. Any other questions? All right, let's see. I guess we don't have any other questions. Going once, going twice. And William says put about 3 or 5 in anchor text. Are you talking about the emails, William? And then he's got, here's another resource from William with direct mail. So I'm just going to share that with you as well in the chat box here. Okay. And this is talking about direct mail. So, with all these concepts, these are all, just different ways to communicate with people, right? Oh, so William is saying put about 3 or 5 in the anchor text in the autoresponder. All right, good, yes. All right, okay, does anybody have any other questions? Let's see, so this is, advertising by, so this is great. Another service here from William about direct mail. So that is helpful as well. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining, and hopefully this was helpful. You got a few information here that can help you in your business, and I will get these recordings out, and thanks again, everybody. So have a great night, and we will chat with you next week. All right, everybody. Take care. Thanks. Bye-bye.